Let's get started on this shielding. I'll put a link to some videos in the description that sort of gave me an idea of what to do here. The reason I hesitate saying that is I've been doing this for years on my electric guitars and been using shielding for years and years and years. It was more I found the videos about the GPS interference and correcting it brought me back to this right here. This is 2-inch wide. Yeah, 2-inch wide, 68 feet. Well, when it was brand new. Copper tape. And I'm going to use it to shield this cable right here. And it's very thin copper foil with a white backing. And it's pretty fragile, really. Oops. Trying to look through the camera's view while I do things. A little hard. And you can see it is a copper foil with a sticky back. And like I say, see it tears very easily, etc., etc. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure me out a length that I'm going to use on this and cut it with scissors. And there we go. That's a little longer than the wire is. And I really don't need it this wide, so I'll cut it down again. So I basically cut it in half. So now I've got my little length in a manageable size. I'm going to give the wire a little twist. Then I'll put this in there and start taking my backing off. But what I really want to do at first is just get the wire stuck along the sort of the side, sort of like that right there. Just want to get the copper stuck to the wire for the length, and I really don't want it touching the connector up here. I'll have to cut it just a little shorter on each end so it doesn't touch any ground up here or any of the pins that stick out a little bit back here. Then I'll strip the backing off of it and just basically fold it over and wrap it. That's all there is to it. The thing is before I do that, I have to go to my solder station and solder a ground wire onto this. So there's the wire soldered on. I just moved it back a little bit from here, from the edge here, so I can kind of adjust that edge. And it's just what we call a drain wire on a shield. That's how it drains everything to ground. So I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm going to wrap that wire in it. Well, there you go. It's not beautiful, but I think it is functional. I didn't get the shielding as far up on the wires as I had hoped, front or back. But they are back enough from the metal in the end of the wires where they won't short it. Now I have to figure out where I'm going to ground my drain wire, cut it, and solder it down. Well, there's what we ended up with. You can see the black ground wire soldered to a ground pad there. You see that little yellow wire coming out of that copper right to the left of the black wire? I accidentally broke that and had to resolder that while I was in there. So that's what it looks like on that end. There's that whole modification basically finished, ready to put back together. Bucket of Bits and I have been talking about this for a week or so. So there's my wire coming out and running, and it's inside copper shielding, and the shielding is grounded. That's about the best you can do. I personally think the problem's more in interference getting into this unit than the wiring, but you know, you do everything you can and hopefully somewhere along the way you fix the problem. A Bucket of Bits plans to use shielded copper braiding that he has on order. He brought it up first. Well, I saw a video of his that had looked like vibration, but it wasn't vibration, it was a GPS glitch. That's when I really started honing in on this GPS interference problem that I had already been talking about with taking the wires on the battery and moving them up, and you heard me complain all the way through this build about all this. But when he told me he had ordered braided copper to put the wires in, I said, oh, wait a minute, I've got some copper around here. And that prompted me to remember the copper foil I have, which I just dropped. The copper foil I have had on hand. So I decided today, after watching a bunch of videos over the past few days, to just take this and do my thing. Thanks, a bucket of bytes. I hope that helped us both there. So there's one attempt at making things better. This isn't a solution. This isn't what I call a solution. This is what I call just making each point in a build better to make the overall thing better. But we'll see. This is the way I'll do them from now on. I probably will use the shielded twisted pair in the 5-inch build rather than doing this foil shielding. It's just easier. Plus, I like the shielded twisted pair anyway. So that's it on this little GPS shielding video. I hope that helps somebody. I'll put links to videos that I watched to get to this point in the description. Thank you, guys.